A man reunited with his childhood crush to make good on a promise from 20 years ago. Over 20 years ago, Matt Grodsky met Laura Scheel in preschool. It was love at first sight for the young lovebirds. A smitten Grodsky told everyone who would listen that he would keep his promise to his sweetheart. As time went by, they went their separate ways and lost touch. But destiny was about to give him the opportunity to make good on his promise if she was willing to accept it. For most kids, preschool is all about playing with toys, eating snacks, and taking naps, but Matt Grodsky was different. Another student by the name of Laura Scheel had caught his attention. Little did he realize that his innocent crush would end up changing his life forever. Grodsky and Scheel went to the same preschool in Phoenix, Arizona. These two adorable kids were only 3 years old at the time, but they formed an inseparable bond that was truly magical. Most people assumed that their connection would eventually fizzle out, and that's exactly what happened. But it didn't happen right away. Parents and teachers marveled at Grodsky and Scheel's one-of-a-kind friendship. They started hanging out on the playground a lot and eventually became best friends. Grodsky was a goofball from the start, which is one of the reasons why Scheel was head over heels for him. To the rest of the world, it was only puppy love. No one really thought it would lead to anything. But the young couple would eventually prove everybody wrong. The two best friends really enjoyed each other's company in school, so much so that they started spending time together on the weekends. They created the type of memories that would make it almost impossible to forget each other. We have very fond memories of each other, Matt reciting movie lines and scenes from The Lion King, Laura teaching Matt how to draw and sing. We went on playdates to each other's houses and movies with our parents, said the couple. One of my very first memories is of being 3 years old and standing up in front of my preschool class declaring that I would marry her someday, Grodsky told people. But as they got older, life took them in different directions. Eventually, they went to different kindergartens and saw each other sporadically until 2000. The couple shared with people, but they still found ways to make their brief moments together unforgettable, which is why Grodsky couldn't get her out of his mind years later. Grodsky's favorite memory is when his crush grabbed his hand during a scary scene in a movie. He was so shocked that he didn't know what to do, but he eventually tried doing what most guys would do when they like someone. During a Cinco de Mayo celebration, Grodsky tried impressing his favorite girl by breaking a piñata. Since he was the only one who was able to do it, he figured that he had knocked her socks off. But there was also a moment in their lives when they weren't sure if they'd ever see each other again, and it scared them. When 2008 rolled around, Grodsky and Scheel were freshmen in different high schools and hadn't seen each other in 8 years. But then Scheel made a shocking discovery while going through her friend's phone. It turns out that his friend had gone to middle school with Grodsky, so when she found his name on her contact list, she knew she had to reach out and give him a call. But would he still remember who she was? Fortunately, Grodsky still did remember her, so they arranged to meet each other again, and when they met at the movie theater, sparks went flying. It may have been too soon to say at the time, but it was love at first sight, and Scheel had no idea what he had in store for her. They started dating within 2 weeks of reconnecting with each other, and they continued dating all throughout high school and college, even though they went to different schools. But one day, Grodsky decided to make good on the promise he made long ago. He'd been waiting for a really long time for this day to come, so he wanted everything to be perfect. He brought the same picnic basket that his parents had when they had gotten engaged. He filled the basket with sparkling cider, food, and wedding dress magazines and prepared for his date with destiny. Grodsky took Scheel to the preschool in Phoenix, Arizona, where they had first met. I walked Laura over to the grass and dropped down on one knee, Grodsky told people. Laura was shocked. I gave her my pitch on why I wanted her to marry me, and she said yes. Woo! The couple got married on December 30th, 2016 at the Arizona Historical Society. Our favorite part about the wedding was the dancing and having everyone we love there to celebrate with us. They shared with people. We tore it up on the dance floor, and it was great being surrounded by everyone who played a part in bringing us together. But they still had their entire future to think about. Would they really get there happily ever after? Surely not everyone is this lucky. They went to Maui for their honeymoon before going back to their regular lives. Scheel works for a nonprofit that works with kids in foster care, while Grodsky is an account executive at a digital marketing agency. But now that they finally got hitched, we're children in the near future. We would love to have kids at some point, Scheel told People. Right now we are focused on our new puppy Kirby and our new house. So, for the moment, they're all about appreciating their time together, and after what they've been through, it's understandable. The best thing about our relationship is that we are just so silly and we appreciate each other every day, the couple told People. Having gone through a long-distance relationship, you learn really quickly how much the other person means to you, and we value our time. But what is it about Grodsky that made her fall in love so hard in the first place? My favorite thing about Matt is his humor. He always makes me happy and he is the most driven person I know, she shared with People. He is always moving forward. But Scheel's no slacker either, according to her husband. She is one of a kind in his eyes. My favorite thing about Laura is her infectious smile and her desire to help those who are less fortunate. She is a force for good and it's inspiring to be around her every day, Grodsky told People. Their love and happiness was so infectious that people from all over the world were drawn to their story. Soon enough, the couple went viral. Eventually, they reached out to an Instagram page called The Way We Met, which features romantic couples' origin stories. And the page's 363,000 followers were introduced to one of the most epic love stories to date. But it didn't end there. Grodsky and Scheel have also appeared on television talk shows together, including Steve Harvey, and it was clear to viewers that the couple had a special energy flowing through them and that they were very comfortable with one another. But had it not been for her parents' generosity, she would have never met her soulmate. It turns out that Scheel was born in New Delhi, India, and lived in an orphanage for years. That's when her parents, who were working for the United States government, saw her and adopted her. Then, they brought her to Arizona, where she would eventually meet the love of her life. Luckily for the couple, being married hasn't mellowed their love for each other. On December 30th, 2019, Grodsky posted a photo on his Instagram with the most adorable caption. Today marks 3 years being married to this lovely lady and nearly 11 and a half years together. I'm pretty damned lucky. Love you, Laura, he wrote. This proves that despite all the obstacles they went through to get here, love really did conquer all.